Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read 1 Samuel 22 to 28, Proverbs 23, and Psalm 150. Let's get started. David departed from there and came to the cave of Adullam, and when his brothers and all his father's house heard it, they went down there too. And everyone who was in distress, and everyone who was in doubt, and everyone who was bitten in soul gathered to him. And he became commander over them, and there was with him about 400 men. And David went from there to Mizpah of Moab, and he said to the king of Moab, "Please let my father and my mother stay with you, so I know what God will do for me." And he left them with the king of Moab, and they stayed with him until all that time that David was in the stronghold. And the prophet Gad said to David, "Do not remain in the stronghold, depart and go into the land of Judah." So David departed and went into the forest of Hereth. Now Saul heard that David was discovered, and the men who were with him. Saul was just sitting at Gibeah under the Talmud tree on the height with his spear in his hand, and all his servants were standing about him. And Saul said to his servants who stood about him, "Hear now, people of Benjamin, the son of Jesse, give every one of you fields and vineyards, and he make you all companions of thousands and companions of hundreds, that all you have conspired against me. No one disclosed to me when my son makes the covenant with the son of Jesse. None of you is sorry for me or disclose to me that my son set up my servant against me to lie in wait outside this day." And as it died the Edomite, he stood by the servants of Saul. I saw the son of Jesse coming unto Nob to him like the son of Hetam. And he inquired of the Lord her and gave him provisions, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine. And the king sent to summon Ahimelech the priest, son of Ahijah, and all his father's house, and the priests who were at Nob. And all of them came to the king, and Saul said, "Hear now, son of Ahijah." And he answered, "Here I am, my lord." And Saul said to him, "I conspired against you, you and the son of Jesse, and that you have given him bread and a sword, and have inquired for God for him, so that he has risen against me to lie in wait at this day." And Ahimelech answered the king, "And who among all your servants is so faithful as David, who is the king's son-in-law, and captain of your bodyguard, and honored in your house? And today is the first time that I have inquired of God for him. No, let not the king impute anything to his servant, or to all the house of my father, for your servant has done anything, nothing of all this, much or little." And the king said, "You shall surely die, Ahimelech. You know your father's house." And the king said to the guard who stood about him, "Try and kill the priest's son-in-law, because their hand issues with David." And they knew that he fled and did not disclose it to me. The servants of the king did not say, nor would not put out their hand to strike my priest-in-law. And the king said to Joab, "You turn and strike the priest." And Gad the Edomite turned and struck down the priest, and he killed on that day 85 persons who were worth an effort. And Nob, the seed of the priest, he put to the sword, with man and woman, child and infant, ox and donkey and sheep, he put to the sword. But one of the sons of Ahimelech, the son of Hetam, named Abiathar, escaped and fled after David. And Abiathar told David that Saul had killed the priest of the Lord. And David said to Abiathar, "I knew on that day when Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would surely tell Saul, 'I have occasioned the death of all the persons of your father's house. Stay with me, do not be afraid, for he who saves my life, my life seeks your life. With me you shall be in safekeeping.'" Now they told David, "The Philistines are fighting against Keilah and robbing the threshing floors." And therefore David inquired of the Lord, "Shall I go and attack these Philistines?" And the Lord said to David, "Go and attack the Philistines and save Keilah." David said to him, "Behold, we are afraid here and you. How much more if we go to Keilah against the armies of the Philistines?" And David inquired of the Lord again, and the Lord answered, "Arise, go down to Keilah, for I will give the Philistines into your hand." And David and his men went to Keilah and fought with the Philistines. And away their livestock and struck them with great blood. So David saved the inhabitants of Keilah. And Abiathar, the son of Ahimelech, had fled to David in Keilah. He had come down with an ephod in his hand, and it was saw that David come to Keilah. And he said, "Saul said, God's given him into my hand. And he shut himself by entering the town with gates and bars. And so some old Hebrew to walk as a go down to Keilah to besiege David and his men. So David knew that Saul was plotting harm against him. And he said to Abiathar the priest, "Bring the ephod here." And David said, "O Lord, the God of Israel, your servant has surely heard that Saul seeks to come to Keilah. To the surety on my account, with the men of Keilah surrendered me into his hand, will still come down as your son in his hand. The Lord the God of Israel, please tell your son. And the Lord said, he'll come down. And David said, will the men of Keilah surrender me and my men into the hand of Saul? And the Lord said, they will surrender you. And David and his men, who were about 600, arose and died from Keilah, and they went wherever they could go. And Saul was told that David had escaped from Keilah, and he gave up the expedition. And David remained in the stronghold in the wilderness, in the hill country of the wilderness as if, and Saul sought him every day, but God did not give him into his hand. David saw that Saul had come to seek his life. And David was in the whole wilderness as if at horse. And Jonathan, Saul's son, rose and went to David at horse, and strengthened his hand in God. And he said to him, do not fear, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find you. And you shall be king of Israel, and I shall be next to you. Saul my father, who soon knows this. And Jonathan made a covenant before the Lord. David remained a horse, and Jonathan went home. And the Ziphites went after Saul and curiously. There's not David hiding among the others in the strongholds of horse, and on the hill Hakon, which is south of Jeshurun. Now come down, the king, according to all your heart's desire to come down. And now our part shall be to surrender him into your king's hand. And Saul said, may you be blessed by the Lord, for you had compassion on me. Make it more sure. No see the place where his foot is, and you have seen him there. It is told me that he is very cunning. See therefore and take note of all the lurking places where he hides, and come back to me with sure information. And I will go with you in peace in the land. You will search him out among all the thousands of Judah. And they arose and went to Ziph ahead of Saul. And David and all his men, were in the wilderness of Mount, in the Arabah to the south of Jeshurun. And Saul and his men went to seek him. And David was told, so he went down to the rock and lived in the wilderness of Mount. And when Saul heard that, he pursued after David in the wilderness of Mount. Saul went to one side of the mountain, and David and his men on the other side of the mountain. And David was hurrying to get away from Saul. And Saul and his men were closing in on David and his men to catch them. The messenger came to Saul, saying, hurry up and come, for the Philistines have made a raid against the land. So Saul returned from pursuing after David and went against the Philistines. Therefore that place was called the Rock of Escape. And David went out from there and lived in the strongholds of En-gedi. When Saul returned from following the Philistines, he was told, behold, David is in the wilderness of En-gedi. And Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all Israel and went to seek David and his men in front of the wild goats rocks. And he came to the sheepfolds by the way, where there was a cave, and Saul went in to relieve himself. Now David and his men were sitting in the innermost parts of the cave. And the men of David said to him, it is the day of which the Lord said to you, behold, I will give your enemy into your hand, and you shall do to him as it seems good to you. And David arose and stealthily cut off a corner of Saul's robe. And afterwards David's heart struck him, because he had cut off a corner of Saul's robe. And he said to his men, the Lord forbid that I should do the thing to my Lord. For the Lord's anointed shall put out my hand again, seeing as he is the Lord's anointed. So David persuaded his men with these words and did not permit them to attack Saul. And Saul rose up and left the cave and went on his way. And after David rose and went out of the cave and called after Saul, my Lord the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David bowed and faced the earth and paid homage. And David said to Saul, why do you listen to the words of men who say, David sees your heart. This day your eyes have seen how the Lord gave me to pay into my hand the cave. And some told me to kill me, but I spared you. And I said, I will not put out my hand against my Lord. But he is the Lord's anointed. See, I shall see the corner of your robe in my hand. For the fact that I cut off the corner of your robe and did not kill you, you ain't and see that there's no wrong treason in my hands. I have not sinned against you, though you have my life to take. May the Lord judge between me and you. May the Lord avenge you against you, but my hand shall not be against you. As the prophet of the ancients says, of the wicked comes wickedness, and my hand shall not be against you. After whom as the king is, I will come out. After him do you pursue, after a dead dog, after a flea. May the Lord therefore be judge and give the sentence between me and you, and see to it and plead my cause, and deliver me from your hand. As soon as David had finished speaking these words to Saul, Saul said, is this your voice, my son David? And Saul lifted up his voice and laughed. He said to David, you are more righteous than I. You have repaid me good, as I have repaid you evil. And you have declared this day how you have dealt well with me, and that you did not kill me when the Lord put me into your hand. And if you may find to say that, we let him go away safe. And may the Lord reward you with good for what you have done to me this day. Now behold, I know that you shall surely be king, and the kingdom of Israel shall be established in your hand. And swear to me therefore by the Lord, that you will not cut my off my offspring after me, and you will not destroy my name out of my father's house. And David saw this to Saul, and Saul went home, and David and men went up to his stronghold. Now Samuel died, and all Israel assembled in man for it, and they buried him in the house at Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And there a man whose business was in Carmel. And the man was very rich. He had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats. He was sharing his sheep in Carmel. The name of the man was Nabal, and his name of his wife Abigail. And the woman was discerning and beautiful, but the man was harsh and badly behaved. He was a Calite. David heard in the wilderness that Nabal was sharing his sheep. So David sent 10 young men, and David said to them, go up to Carmel, and go to Nabal and greet him in my name. Thus you shall greet. Peace be to you, and peace be to your house, and peace be to all that you have. And he that you shares. And your shepherds have been with us, and we did them no harm, and they missed nothing all the time. They were in Carmel. Ask your young men, and they'll tell me not. Therefore let my young men find favor in your eyes when we come on the feast day. Please give whatever you have at hand to your sons and to your son David. And David's young men came. They said all this to Nabal in the name of David, and then they waited. And Nabal answered David's servant, who is David? Who is the son of Jesse? These are many servants these days who are breaking away from their masters. Shall I take my bear, my water, and my meat? I have cooked for my shares and give it to men who come down from I do not know where. And David's young men turned away and came back and told him all this. And David said to his men, every man strap on his sword. Every man strapped on his sword. David also strapped on his sword. And about 400 men went up after David, while 200,000 remained with the baggage. And one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to greet our master, and he railed at them. Yet the men were very good to us, and we suffered no harm, and we did not miss anything when we were in the field, as long as we were with them. And there was a war to us by night and by day, and all the while we were with them and keeping the sheep. And therefore notice and consider what you should do, arms determined against our master and against all his house. And he is such a worthless man that one cannot speak to him. And Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves, and 2 skins of wine, and 5 sheep already prepared, and 5 seahs of parched grain, and 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on donkeys. And she said to her young men, go on before me, behold, I come after you. But she did not tell her husband. David and his men came down to water, and she met them. David had said, surely in vain have I got all that this father has in the wilderness. Said nothing, it was missed of all that belonged to. And he's returned me evil for good. God do so to the enemies of David and Moses. If by morning I leave so much as one meal of all who belong to him. And Abigail saw David. She hurried and got down from the donkey and fell before David on her face and bowed to the ground. She fell at his feet and said, oh, me alone, my Lord, be the girl. Please let your servant speak in your ears, and hear the words of your servant. And I know my Lord, regardless whether it's from a name, for his name is, so is he. Neighbor is his name, and far is with him. I am servant, did not see the young men of my Lord. For him you said, now that my Lord, as the Lord lives, and as your soul lives, because the Lord has restrained you from blood, guilt, and from saving you with your own hand. Now land like your enemies, and those who seek to do evil to my Lord. He's young and you follow my Lord. The men of my Lord whom you say, please forgive this trespass of your servant, for the Lord will certainly make my Lord to your house, because my Lord is fighting the battles of the Lord, and evil shall not be bound to you as long as you shall live. You live. If men rise up to pursue you and seek your life, then my Lord shall be bound up in the bundle of the living in the cave of the Lord your God, and the lives of your enemies shall sling as from the hole of a sling. And the Lord is done to my Lord according to all the good that he has spoken concerning you, and has appointed you prince over Israel. And the Lord shall have no cause of grief or pangs of conscience, or having shed blood, that cause for my Lord work salvation himself. And when the Lord has dealt well with my Lord, then remember your servant. And David said to Abigail, blessed be the Lord, God of Israel, who sent you this day to meet me. Blessed be your discretion, and blessed be you who have kept me this day from blood guilt, and from working salvation with my own hand. For surely as the Lord, the God of Israel, lives, who has restrained me from hurting you, unless you have hurried and come to meet me. Surely my morning there not being left in me, so much as one man, and David received from her hand what she had brought him. And he said to her, Go up in peace to your house. See, I have obeyed your voice, and I have granted your petition. And Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he was holding a feast in his house, thus the feast of a king. And Nabal's heart was merry within him, but he was very drunk. So she told him nothing at all until the morning light. Until in the morning, when the wine had come out of Nabal, his wife told him these things, and his heart died within him, and he became as a stone. And about 10 days later, the Lord struck Nabal, and he died. And David heard that Nabal was dead. He said, Blessed be the Lord who has revenged the insult I received the hand of Nabal, and kept back his servant from wrongdoing. And the Lord has returned the evil of Nabal on his own head. And David sent and spake to Abigail to take her as his wife. And the servant said to King Abigail, she rose and bowed with her face to the ground, and said, Behold, your handmaid is a servant, so wash your feet of the servants of my Lord. And Abigail hurried and rose and mounted a donkey, and the 5 young men attended her. She followed the messenger of David and became his wife. And David is to Kahina and Jezreel, and both of them became his wives. Saul had given much on his daughter. And David's wife, Palti, the son of Laish, who was of Galilee, and the Ziphites came to Saul to say, He's not David hiding himself on the hill of the Hakilah until on the east of Jeshurun. So Saul arose and went down to the wilderness as if with 3,000 children men of Israel to seek David in the wilderness, as if his son came on the hill of Hakilah. Which is beside the road on the east of Jeshurun. But David remained in the wilderness, and he saw that Saul came after him into the wilderness. But David sent out spies and learned that Saul had indeed come. And David rose and came to a place where Saul came. And David saw the place where Saul lay, and with Abner the son of Ner, the commander of his army. Saul was lying with the mean king, and while the army was encamped around him. And David came to him like the him, and to Joab's brother Abishai the son of Zeruiah, who go down with me into the camp to Saul. And Abishai said, I will go to sleep down with you. So David and Abishai went to the army by night, and there were lay Saul sleeping with the encampment, and the spear stuck in the ground at his head, and Abner and the army lay around him. And Abishai said to David, God has given your enemy into your hand this day. Now please let me pin him to the earth with one stroke of the spear, and I will not strike him twice. And David said to Abishai, do not destroy him, for who can put his hand against the Lord on earth and be guiltless? And David said, As the Lord lives, the Lord will strike him. Or his day will come to die, and he'll go down into power and perish. The Lord forbid, and that I shall put on my hand against the Lord and his anointed. I will take now the spear that his head and a jar of water, and let us go. So David took the spear and a jar of water from Saul's hand, and they went away. So no man saw or knew, nor did any awake, for they were all asleep, because a deep sleep fell from the Lord had fallen upon them. And David went over to the other side, and stood far off to the top of the hill, with a great space between them. And David called to the army and to Abner the son of Ner, saying, Will you not answer Abner? Then Abner answered, Who are you who calls to the king? And David said to Abner, Are you not a man who is like you, Israel? Why then have you not kept watch over your lord the king? But one of the people came in to destroy the king of your lord. This thing that you have done is not good. As the Lord lives, you deserve to die. Because you have not kept watch over your lord. The Lord anointed you. Now see where the king's spear is, and the jar of water that outside his hand. And Saul recognized David's voice, and he said, Is this voice my son David? Is this your voice, my son David? And David said, It is my voice, my lord the king. And he said, Why does my Lord pursue after his servant? But what have I done? What evil is on my hands? Now therefore let my Lord the king hear the words of his servant. Praise to the Lord, who stirred you up against me. May he accept an offering. And offer her, if it is man, then they be cast before the Lord. But they have driven me at this day, that I should have no share in the heritage of the Lord, saying, Go serve other gods. Now therefore let not my blood fall to the earth, away from the presence of the Lord. Oh, the king of Asia has come out to see with single fleet, like one who hunts a partridge in the mountains. And so said, I sinned. I tell my son David, how I never will do you harm, because my life was precious in your eyes this day. And behold, I have acted foolishly, and have made a great mistake. And David answered, Here's the spear, O king. Let one of the young men come over and take it. The Lord rewards every man for his righteousness and faithfulness with the Lord. gave you into my hand today, and I will not put out my hand against the Lord and Lord you. Behold, as your life be precious as a stay in thy sight, so may my life be precious in the sight of the Lord, and may it deliver me out of all tribulation. And Saul said to David, Blessed be you, my son David. You will do many things and will succeed in them. So David went his way, and Saul returned to his place. And then David said to his son, Now I shall perish one day by the hand of Saul. There is nothing better for me than that I should escape to the land to the borders of the Philistines. And Saul despair seeking me any longer within the borders of Israel. And I shall escape out of his city. So David arose and went over, he and the 600 men who were with him, to Achish king of Gath. And David lived with Achish of Gath, he and his men, every man with his household. And David with his 2 wives, Ahinoam of Jezreel, and Abigail of Carmel, Nabal's widow. And when it was told Saul that David had fled to Gath, he no longer sought. And David said to his youth, If I have found favor in your eyes, no place you give me in one of the country towns. Now I will dwell there, for why should my servant dwell in the rosary with you? And that day Achish gave him Ziklag. Therefore Ziklag had belonged to the kings of Judah to this day. And none of the days that David lived in the country of the Philistines was a year and 4 months. Now David and his men went up against and made raids against the Geshurites, the Gerzites, and the Amalekites, as well the inhabitants of the land from afar, and saw a share to the land of Egypt. And David was striking land and would leave neither man nor woman alive. And would take away the sheep, the oxen, and the donkeys, the camels, and the garments, and come back to Achish. And Achish asked, Where have you made a raid today? David would say, Against the Negev of Judah, or against the Negev of the Jeremielites, or against the Negev of the Kenites. David would leave neither man nor woman alive to bring news to Gath, as they should tell Babs and the Philistines. And Achish trusted David, saying, He has made himself an utter stench to his people Israel. Therefore he shall always see myself. In those days the Philistines gathered their forces forward to fight against Israel. And she said to David, Understand that you and your men are to go out with me in the army. And David said to her, Very well, you shall know what your servant can do. And she said, Very well, I make your body guard for life. And now Samuel died, and always had a man for him, and buried him at Ramah in his own city. So I put the medium and the necromancers out of the land. And the Philistines assembled and camped at Jun. And Saul got all Israel, and they came to Gilgal. And Saul saw the army of the Philistines. He was afraid, and his heart trembled greatly. And then Saul inquired of the Lord, and the Lord did not answer either by dreams, or by you, or by prophets. And the Lord said to his servant, Seek out for me a woman who is in need, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And the servant said to her, there is a medium at Endor. So Saul disguised himself and put on other garments, and went he and 2 men with him. And they came to the woman by night. And he said, Divine for me a spirit by spirit, and bring up for me whoever I shall name for you. The woman said to him, Surely you know what Saul is known. He is cut off the meters and necromancers. And the woman, Why then are you laying a trap? For my life to bring about my death. And Saul swore to her by the Lord, As the Lord lives, no punishment shall come upon you for this thing. Then the woman said, Whom shall I bring up for you? He said, Bring up Samuel for me. And the woman saw Samuel, she cried out with a loud voice. And the woman said to Saul, Why have you seen me? And Saul the king said, Do not be afraid. What do you see? And the woman said to Saul, I see a God coming up out of the earth. He said to her, What is his appearance? She said, An old man is coming up, and he is wrapped in a robe. And Saul knew that it was Samuel, and he bowed with his face to the ground and paid homage. And Samuel said to Saul, Why you disturbed me by bringing me up? Saul answered, I am in great distress, and the Philistines are warring against me, and God has turned away from me, and answered me no more, either by prophets or by dreams. Therefore I summoned you to tell him what I shall do. And Samuel said, Why then do you ask me, since the Lord has turned from you and become your enemy? The Lord has considered done as he spoke from me. Well, the Lord has torn the kingdom out of your hand and given it to your neighbor David. Because he did not obey the voice of the Lord and did not carry out his fierce wrath against Amalek. Therefore the Lord has done this thing. So you the same, moreover, all Israel with you. The Lord will give Israel also with you, into hand the Philistines, and tomorrow You and your sons shall be with me. The Lord will give the army of Israel into the hand of the Philistines, and so fell at once at full length, and stood on the ground, fell with fear because the words of Samuel, and the other strengthened. We had eaten nothing all day and all night, and the woman came to her, and she saw that her life was terrified. He was terrified. He said to her, "Behold, your servant has obeyed. I have taken my life in my hand, and I have listened to all that you have said to me. So therefore you are saying to me, let me eat a morsel of bread and eat, that you may have strength, and you go along on your way." He answered, "I will not eat of the servants together with him, and he listened to their words, so he arose from the earth and sound. And now the woman had a fine calf in his house, and she quickly killed it, and she took the flour and kneaded it, and baked unleavened bread of it. So she put it before Saul and his servants, and they rose and went away that night. Proverbs 23. When you sit down to eat with a ruler, observe carefully what is before you, and put a knife to your throat if you are given time. For do not desire delicacy, for they are deceptive. Do not toil to acquire wealth, they are sitting enough to this. When your eyes lighten, it is glowing, who suddenly is pathway, flying like an eagle toward heaven. Do not eat the bread of a man who is stingy, nor do not desire delicacy. There is one who is like one who is inwardly calculating. Eat and drink, he says to you, his heart not with you. You will vomit out the worst morsels you have eaten. You will waste your pleasant words. You will speak in the hearing of a fool, who he will despise the good sense of your words. You do remove an ancient lamb and to the fields of the fathers. When they redeem your strength, he will plead their cause against you. And you will find your heart to instruction and your ear to words of knowledge. You will withhold just with a child. You strike it with a rod, he will not die. You strike it with a rod, you will save a soul from Sheol. If your heart is wise, my heart too will be glad. I am machine when you saw when you listen to your voice right. I know your heart envies and is continue in the fear of the Lord all the day. When there is no future, and your heart will not be cut off. If my son be wise and direct your heart in the way. You know, among drunkenness or among gladness he is in me. For the drunken and the glutton will come to poverty. And as long as clothe them with rags, since your father gave you life, and do not despise your mother when she is well. I choose and do not sell it by wisdom, instruction, and understanding. Your father the righteous will greatly rejoice. You also wise son will be glad in him. Let your father and mother be glad. Let her all you rejoice, my son. Give me your heart, and let your eyes observe my ways. For across is a deep pit, and adulteress is a narrow wall. She lies on me like a robber, and increases the traitors of a woman. Who is away, who is sorrow, who is shy, who is complained, whose rain is without cause, whose redness of eyes. Those who tarry long enough to overwine, those who go to try to mix wine. Do not look away when it is red, when smoke is in the cup and goes so smoothly. In the end, it bites like a serpent, and it stings like an adder. And your eyes will see strange things, and your heart utter perverse things. You will be like one who lies down in the midst of the sea, like one who lies on the top of the mast. They struck me, you will say, I was not hurt. They beat me, but I did not feel it. When I wake up, I must find another trick. Psalm 150. Praise the Lord, praise God in his sanctuary, praise him in his mighty heavens, praise him for his mighty deeds, praise him according to his excellent greatness, praise him with trumpet sound, praise him with lute and harp, praise him with tambourine and dance, praise him with strings of pipe, praise him with sounding cymbals, praise him with loud clashing cymbals. Let everything his dash praise, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Then I should not do the Lord's Prayer. Please God, the Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.